Alright, back again. Sun's out today. It's stuck the past few days. It's been kind of dreary, stuck in my head. But so I attempted to make a video yesterday. Didn't work out for whatever reason. The camera wasn't working on my little tablet, so but this is what we're going to talk about. All right, and I'm going to speak strictly from my experience. I'm going to play storyteller today, and I'm not going to embellish. I'm going to tell you exactly how this stuff worked. So, for those that have been under attack, spiritual attack, and I'm talking about if you know we're just you're partaking in an energy exchange. So like if someone is just rattling on about a bunch of nonsense, just trying to keep you around, and you're just trying to be nice, so you stick around. Meanwhile, they're little vampires, stuck on you, draining you. So I was living in this terrible apartment complex, and keep in mind, man, I was doing a lot of drugs at the time, and I was in such a low space, and everything hit me all at once. The spiritual realm just crashed into me, and I wasn't prepared for it at all. Mentally, my internal geometry was off. Mentally, physically, I was still doing drugs, and I just wasn't ready for it. It was exacerbating it. So I had to move out of the apartment, right? And there was a neighbor guy who, at first glance, seemed all right. Now I know that he's what he is, but this neighbor guy was like, "Hey man, I'm getting kicked out of my house, da-da-da." And I was like, "Oh, there's a synchronous, you know what I mean? You need a place that I help people. I tell you what, man, you help me move all my shit out of here. You could take over the apartment, you know what I mean? Pay the, start picking up on the rent and pay the bills and whatever, and you can work it out with the apartment complex." Right? So as time goes on, it was just one. And remember, I was doing drugs, so he was using that to his advantage. Like, "Oh, here, man." He was still feeding me stuff, and just as a form of distraction. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, behind the scenes, terrible things were happening. And I got to a point where I figured out what was going on, and I figured out what he was. And what makes it so hard for light beings to defend themselves is that we're so nice by nature. We don't want to lash out. We want to reach out and help. Like, "Hey, look, I know what you are. Let me help you. Let's work together. It's okay." But they have done so many terrible things that the lie that their existence is built on will crumble if they're truly honest about that. And the lie will die, so whatever has replaced their soul it can't take it. So anyways, I was standing there and he was doing his thing, talking to me, just more lies, "Oh, I'm going to pay this, I'm going to come up with that, I'm going to give you that, and da-da-da." And I said, "Hang on, hey, listen. And I said in a very calm tone from my heart, like I'm speaking from this love energy just coming straight out of my chest. And I said, "Listen, man, you don't have to lie anymore. You constantly say that you're going to do these things or whatever, but you never have the intention to do it. You just say it, hoping that I'll just leave you alone about it. It's not even about the money. It's about all the things that you're doing. It's about all these terrible things that you're doing, man. I know that you're a shape-shifting, archonic reptilian." I think I said something like that. Reptilians aren't inherently bad, but I said, "And your entire existence is a lie. And that's okay. That's okay because I'm here, man. Let's just talk about it. Let's work. And as I'm saying these things, he was at first he tried to "Oh, hey, reptilian, yeah, I saw this on Google once," and he just trying to distract, and I just kept on. I said, no, listen, you're gonna have to come to terms with the things that you've done, the things that you're doing. And, you know, never once have you followed through with any of these things that you're talking about, and I don't believe you. I don't believe you. And as I'm saying this, he's like, first he gets down on his knees, and then he gets down to where he was like doubled over, like he was on his knees, but he was almost laid down flat. And he started to write out some numbers. You know what I mean? Some numbers like what he was going to come up with, the kind of money he was going to come up with to help pay me back or whatever it was. Again, another lie. But the point is this: he could not stand up. He could not stand up until it was like, as I was talking, my words were literally putting him on his knees. And it wasn't until he could get up and start speaking his lie that he could actually stand up, right? And then shortly after that, like, you could tell that disturbed the spirit within him so bad that he called somebody else, and they again tried to use fear, you know, start talking about guns and this and da-da-da, what you want to do, da-da-da. You know, it's in a sly kind of way, you know what I mean? Not directly threatening me, because they know that's not good for them. But anyways, it's all in the mind. So that's not the first time that's happened. And, you know, so what it is they're either they'd never had a soul to begin with, or they sold their soul, and in exchange for that soul, they got a evil reptilian spirit of some sort, right? And that spirit is using all of the information at its disposal, right? All the stuff, all the memories, all the stuff, all the, you know, which again, that's why they ask so many questions. Oh, why did you do that? Who's this? Who's that to this? Who's that to them? Because they're not the same people anymore. They're just trying to take in more information, and trying to, just in order to use that against you. So that's not the first time that's happened. Okay, there's been other times where I spoke and people got down. Now, I don't. The thing is this: if you're being attacked and drained, okay, that's when you use that. And you don't have to call anybody out for what they are necessarily. I'm just saying that worked. That happened. So you have to be careful, though. Don't get in an argument where they're going to go back and forth with you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're just going to waste your energy there. It's important to keep a calm tone and speak from your heart, and don't let up, because they're not letting up. They're going to do whatever they can. So only use that light. Only use that if you're in a corner, if you're being drained unnecessarily. You can do other things to, you know what I mean, to protect yourself, right? And a lot of it's mental, dude. Like, you just, in your mind, just put your armor on, crank your light up, walk with the chest out, chin up, wings up. You know what I mean? And don't let anyone or anything, any comment, because people are going to shoot a little bit of negativity just to dim you just a little bit, because it bothers them badly. But look, that's not your problem. That's not your problem. You're living righteous. You're trying to do the right thing. You're trying to make it through this messed up matrix. You're just passing through to get to the fifth dimension, which is where light reigns supreme, right? So eventually, all of these negative entities, it's like a big test or something. It's like all these people, they were here just to test a few, to prepare them to be, because we're supposed to be leaders. We're supposed to be running this stuff because we have a pure heart. We're not going to do it for the money. I genuinely want to do things for the whole, for everyone, for the innocent, for the people that can't fight for themselves. That's the point of my entire existence. And I felt that my whole life. You asked me when I was 13, 15, even when I was getting high and being dumb, you know what I mean? What do you want to do? I don't know. I want to help people. I just want to help people. You know? And I think that, you know, broken people help broken people. It can't be an accident, man. It can't be a coincidence. So there's other things that you can do to defend yourself, right? And it all stems from this: extreme and utter truth. So there are things in this world that are taboo to talk about for no other reason than it bothers the agenda and the spirits within these people, okay? So you say a word like reptilian or archonic parasite or narcissist, or if you say any of those things, like, oh, you're just being mean, you're just spreading negativity. No, man, I wouldn't say those things if it wasn't true in my heart, right? And the idea is this: if they are using utter and ridiculous lies, as they spew lies and you believe them, they're draining your energy. They're wasting your time. They're wasting your energy. They're while they're talking to you, their little extra dimensional whatever creeps up behind you. So that's what they're doing. So don't feel bad about defending yourself with some truth. So the idea is that these things have been made so taboo to talk about. Oh, you're just crazy, right? That most people are afraid to call things out for what they really are, for fear of embarrassment, right? And humiliation is the name of the game when it comes to silencing people, right? I have been publicly mocked and humiliated for being nothing but good, right? And you know, again, I wasn't in a great state of mind at the time. You know, I didn't know what to do. I was sad and depressed. I was hurt. I was under attack constantly. The people that I loved were turned against me. I didn't understand. And so I did the only thing I knew how to do, which was stay high, and it just kept me in a low, dark place, man. But, yeah. So don't feel bad for just walking away from somebody. If they're talking crazy, if they're just wasting your time and you can feel it, they're just trying to steal some of that light, man, don't feel bad. Be like, oh, gotta go. Or here's my favorite. So you're in a let's say you're in a Cabela's or something, right? And one of those guys like walks up and says, hey man, can I talk to you for a minute? No. No, you cannot. And just, that's all any of that stuff is. You know what I mean? Here, let me talk to you about Verizon. No. Anyways. Oh, thank God. Look at this beautiful sun. Woo. Man. That was a rough couple of days, man. Can anyone else feel that it's getting hotter? I know that it's coming into October. I'm at the crossroads, man. I'm in Indiana. But man, just the energy is so intense right now. It's just, I was kind of bombarded with the negative. Things were getting stuffed in my head, you know. But at this point, I'm just constantly transmuting that negative energy into light, constantly. And I mean, it's hard because I'm constantly bombarded and I don't have an outlet. I mean, you take me to a concert, but that just, they're not ready for that. That turns heads for sure. But I enjoy going to concerts, man. I love going to shows. Maybe it's because I was always supposed to be on the other side of the concert. Anyways, just want to tell a couple stories. There was one other really good one. Okay. So this is about how the powers that were do not have the authority to lock you up anymore. Okay. Now, this is kind of a long one, but it's super important, right? Fear is the only tool they've got. The people that are on the other side of this, they're not real. They're fake. And if you believe it, they will get away. They will go along with and try to get away with whatever you'll let them. Okay. So I was in Florida, and I had a ticket down there. I got a ticket in like 2009 for a watercraft violation or something. Right? I didn't pay it. And so there was a warrant for years and years and years. Keep in mind, man, I got in and out of prison, all kinds of stuff with this warrant. Like, that's how insignificant it was. So I went for a run on the beach, came back, and I got pulled over, right? And you can tell this cop was, like, not scared, but just really surprised, you know what I mean? And I knew the warrant was going to come back and whatever. But from, like, the moment I got pulled over, it was totally different than any other time I've had a interaction with the police, right? So I knew without the shadow of a doubt, like, look, man, they're going to take you in, right? But they're going to cut you right back loose. You're going to pay this little bond. Don't worry about the bullshit in Indiana. Don't worry about that. They're not going to do anything about that. They're just going to cut you loose. Don't you worry. In and out, man. In and out. They're not going to. And so I just kept telling myself that, or something was telling me that over and over and over and over. And you could tell that just my thoughts they were like trying to get me to think about or talk about anything else. And that I didn't say anything out loud, but I must have been so loud in their head that they were just like, ugh. So I go into the jail and I sit down, like, for the initial booking thing, right? I take your number and stuff like that. And immediately, there's just, like, one by one, everyone, all the other bailiffs and other cops that are bringing people in, just kind of, like, crowd into this little room that I'm in, trying to make conversation with the arresting officer. But you could tell they had nothing to talk about, you know? They were all just kind of, like, hovering around. They're just kind of standing close, you know? And there was a very attractive female police officer that was obviously just trying to get me to look at her, just like being like very over the top. And I was like, what is going on here, man? Like, is this can't be real? You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. So I'm getting booked in, and they asked me, they're like, do you want to go in that cell? And they didn't even close the door. It's like they didn't know what to do. They're like, can we even do this? And it's true. It's like so crazy. So, like, they don't have the spiritual authority to do any of that at all. So I think a lot of it is this, you know, if you're doing the right things, right? First of all, if you've been charged with anything that is 100% total BS, that's going to go away. They don't have a leg to stand on when it comes to that stuff, because they should have never locked you up in the first place, right? So don't worry about that. But as I go into the cell, they kept doing other weird stuff, like moving me around every 5 minutes, or 5 hours probably, and then I end up going to court, right? And I go into court, and the cop, the bailiff is like, here, this is the extradition paper for Indiana. You know, if you sign this, they've got you get time credited for however long you sit here. If you fight it, they've got 2 weeks to come get you, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, they're going to want you to sign that. I'm like, yeah. And in my head, it's like, yeah, right, bro. Yeah, right. That ain't for this. None of this is for me. I'm walking out of here. So I go up. The judge, which, by the way, is in Viera, a totally different town, and they're in like a, what you call it, like it's a video, right? And the whole reason for that is because they cannot take the energy, because most of these people are innocent, and what they're doing is a total lie. It's a travesty. So they know they don't have the authority to do this to human beings, you know, or whatever we are, aliens, I don't know. And so they have to, like, do it. That's the real reason why they do the video stuff, is because the in-person shit won't fly anymore. You can't do it. So she says, how you doing, Mr. Beeson? Oh, I said, doing pretty well considering, you know. And I'm smiling, like, not a doubt in my mind. It says, well, it says here that you have that you've got a ticket from 2009. They're like, we don't even have paperwork on that anymore. Why did... Anyways, you paid your bond for that, so we're not going to send you down to Monroe County. And then before she could even talk about the Indiana stuff, the court reporter's like, Judge, I've got a memo here saying that they're not gonna extradite, and that we need to scrub both cases. And she goes, well, looks like we're cutting him loose. You know what I mean? And you have a good day. Got me the hell out of there. And man, that feel of like, yes, I knew it. Look, there is so much more. I know that was kind of a long, drawn out story, but the point is this: I have never in my life have I gone through a court system and it went down like that. Never have I ever. Yes, I've gotten OR'd before. Yes, I've gotten, is it a break? I don't know. They force your hand to sign a bullshit plea. But anyways, halfway decent things have happened, in my court experiences, okay? But nothing like this. And nothing like, bro, don't even worry about it. We're good. You're going to be fine. You're going to in and out. They can't mess with you. You know what I mean? Like, you're just bombarded with positive thoughts. And that says something, man. Like, I always knew, like, I've known, like, look, they don't have the authority to do this shit anymore. That's over with. Just the way they act, the way they try to, And also, it's like, they can't, while I was in there, again, it storms in Florida a lot, but while I was locked up, man, it was rowdy. It was the weather got so crazy so fast, and it's like the universe is pissed that they're still doing this to people. You know what I mean? Like, and so I guess my advice to everyone is don't trip. Don't be afraid of getting locked up. Right? Don't be doing dumb shit. You know what I mean? Obviously, if you're on this path, right, you shouldn't be drinking, right? Well, it's not necessarily bad. It's just not worth it, But you should definitely not be drinking and driving, You shouldn't be doing. There's my hawk. You shouldn't be doing partaking in any of this illegal activity, anyways, right? But the point is this, man. If you are living righteously, the laws of man do not apply to you. And when I say laws of man, I mean the bullshit how they just lock people up for absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? If you're doing the right thing, staying focused on a goal, if you're constantly trying to make the next right choice. Now, sometimes that's difficult, These things won't apply to you. So when dealing with past things that happened before you woke up, don't trip. The more good you do, the more good things that you do, the easier it is for you to get past them. Anyways, I just kind of want to share these personal experiences. I don't know if anyone else has been through something like that or had that feeling of like, you go somewhere and people they don't know how to act. It's like I don't know. It's like they're part intimidated, part like, oh my God, what's he gonna say? Or, oh, is this gonna work? Like and look, all these things I'm saying, like, these are conversations going through these people's heads. Like, sometimes I'll walk in somewhere and loud, like super loud in my head, like, oh shit, like it's crazy, man. It is absolutely nuts. Like, they're trying so hard to keep this down, but like, they don't get it, man. I can tap into my spirit guides are letting me hear exactly what I need to hear. So if someone's having a conversation about me talking shit, I can hear it. If somebody's plotting on me, whatever, I can hear that conversation. I can feel those thoughts. I can feel animosity. I can feel anger. And man, it's wild. It's wild. Anyways, kind of rambled a little bit today. Sorry for bouncing all over the place. Had to get that out, man. Anyways, don't be afraid of the police, right? No fear. Chest out, chin up, wings up, baby. Woo! Shine bright.